today's video is on carbohydrates. So first, the basics of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are biological molecules made of oxygen, hydrogen and carbon atoms. And carbohydrates are used as sources of energy and for energy storage. Carbohydrates are polysaccharide polymers with monosaccharide monomers. So the repeating units that make up the carbohydrate polymers are called monosaccharides, and the carbohydrate polymers are called polysaccharides. So monosaccharides, the monomers of the carbohydrate polysaccharide polymers, are sweet-tasting soluble sugars with the general formula CH2ON. So if you had a 5-carbon, a pentose sugar, so you had 5 carbons and then you'd have 10 hydrogens and 5 oxygens. So examples of monosaccharides are alpha glucose, beta glucose, fructose and galactose. And these are the ones you'll have to know for the exams. And hexose sugars are the most important monosaccharides that you have to know about because monosaccharide sugars, hexose sugars, have 6 carbons in their chemical formula. So this means that they're C6H12O6 general formula monosaccharides, and this is alpha and beta glucose, for example. There are many different types of hexose and pentose sugars, and this leads us on to the next slide, which is isomers. And isomers are molecules with the same chemical formula but different structures, and this takes us back to the monosaccharides, with there are many different types of hexose and pentose sugars. They just have different structures but the same chemical formula. So alpha and beta glucose are probably the most important and well-known isomers. As you can see here, they both have the C6H12O6 chemical formula, but on carbon 1, you can see that the hydroxyl group has been inverted, so they're not on the same side. So they have different structures but the same chemical formula. And next is disaccharides. And disaccharides are when 2 monosaccharides are bonded together by a glycosidic bond formed in a condensation reaction. So a condensation reaction is the removal of water to form a larger molecule. So if you can see here, we have glucose and fructose, and highlighted here as the hydroxyl groups on both of the carbon 1 of the glucose and the carbon 4 of the fructose. And via a condensation reaction with the removal of water, you can see that this hydroxyl group gets removed and bonded with this hydrogen from the hydroxyl group to form H2O, water, allowing the carbon 1 and carbon 4 to form this glycosidic bond, which joins the 2 monosaccharides to form a disaccharide. So this is a 1-to-4 glycosidic bond because the bond has been formed between carbon 1 of this glucose and carbon 4 of the fructose. And examples that you'll need to know of disaccharides are as follows. Alpha glucose and alpha glucose makes maltose. Alpha glucose and fructose makes sucrose, which is the bonding you can see here. And alpha glucose and galactose make lactose.